in need of joy. There's nothing but joy. In the land where I'm bound. Yeah, nothing but joy. Oh, nothing but joy. Yeah, nothing but joy. In the land Song of Solomon, chapter 5. I want to look at verse 9 and 10. And 16, is that all right? Verse 9 says, what is your beloved more than another beloved? O fairest among women, what is your beloved more than another beloved that you thus adjure us? 10, my beloved is all radiant and ruddy, distinguished among 10,000. Go to 16 for me. His speech is most sweet, and he is altogether desirable. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. If you would allow me to use yesterday, since we're coming from the love story, a love book, nobody like him. There's nobody like him. Can anybody be a witness this morning? There's nobody. Nobody like him. This morning our text comes to us from Solomon's Song. And to me, this book of the Bible is filled with romance. You're not going to find God's name in this book. So it makes it very contradictional when we read this book. In this book, there is a true love story. This book has been severely criticized by the skeptics and infidels who have tried to discredit the whole canon of the scriptures because of the contents of the Song of Solomon. Even though there is difficulty in both the translation and the interpretation of the passage, it is generally agreed that it pictures or prefigures the courtship that exists between Christ and the believer and between Christ and the church. So it may not mention Christ, but it is in comparison of Christ and Christ's church. Christianity, if you will, is a romantic venture. It's a personal love story of a relationship between one of God's creations and its God. Is that all right? Christianity is more than just being just Christ-like. You have to be in the will of Christ. There is a thrilling romance in the experience of personal salvation. When the soul is united to Christ in love and devotion, a courtship is begun that extends throughout the life of the believer. And Christ becomes nearer and dearer as the day goes by. This courtship never becomes old and stale, but it is ever refreshing, and every day with Jesus is sweeter than the day before. In the picture, if you will, are you still with me? Before us, we see a young woman who is desperately in love. It is a love which is both bold and daring, where her lover has withdrawn himself. Uh-oh, anybody ever been left? I want to see if you still with me. Anybody just been broken up with, they just left you out there, and you wondering what's going on? You done given all your love to them, and they done got full, and then they going on about their business. Have mercy. This is where we find the woman in the story today. Her lover has withdrawn himself, and she has become lonely. Anybody ever been lonely? Somebody say lonely don't equal desperate though. Some of you need to find out, because these men will come tell you anything because they believe you desperate. You tell them, I'm lonely, but I'm not desperate. You find yourself in some stuff that you don't want to be in, and crying some tears that you don't want to cry, and you can't sleep at night because you're thinking all about him and he about you at all. Come on and tell the truth there. She longs for his presence. She seeks diligently for him. She is not satisfied even at the banquet table because her lover is not there. Her friends tried to make her happy, but all of their attempts in that direction were in vain. So she tells her own story. She said, I just left them. She left her friends at the banquet table. She said, I left them because I was seeking him. When you got you a good thing, a good man, a good woman, I don't care what them friends say where they're trying to go, you trying to be with the one you love. Help us in here today. So she said, I left them because I was seeking him. So what was true in her case is true in ours as well. It is going to either be him or them. You got to make a choice. Which one you're going to choose to follow. It's either him or them. If you prefer him, you will be giving up them. I'm telling you, you're going to have to give up some folk. Those who prefer them are not even worthy of him. Her friends were taking notes of this peculiar love and loyalty which should characterize every Christian. They were amazed and disturbed, but you know what? You can't tell all your business. She had already dressed him up. She said he was fine. She said he had muscles and a voice that would just make almost go to sleep. You can't tell it to everybody because then somebody's going to be a little what? Yeah, they're going to be curious and they're going to want to know what make her feel so good and wonder if I can get a little piece of it. So you got to be careful of what you tell your friends and foes. Her friends still tried to make her happy, but nothing would satisfy her. So what is it, they asked, beloved more than another beloved? Why is it that you are not happy with us? Why is it that in spite of the presence of your friends, you are still lonely? We seek to cheer and comfort you. We planned a banquet for you, and you left us sitting at the table and went out into the streets after a man. Her response would be simply, there is nobody like him. What is it about him that is so different from the others? What is it that completely possesses all of you? She simply said, I'm telling you, there's simply nobody like him. Text also includes her reply. She said, I just can't get him off my mind. There's nobody like him. This story is our pattern for loyalty to Christ. And it also obligates us to explain our loyalty by giving a reason for the hope that is in us. Every day is not going to be a sunny day. Every day, sometimes you feel the presence of the Lord and sometimes you won't. Maybe you want to ask God, well, I'm here and I'm crying. Can you not hear me? Can you not comfort me? Did you not tell me that you wouldn't leave me nor forsake me? So I'm here, God, and I'm crying out, where are you? I keep saying that God will sometimes keep complete silence. He'll completely stand by there and watch over you, but he won't say nothing. We got to learn how to trust God. Even when God doesn't feel like God is there. God is still there. Come on, tell somebody God is still there. Look at your neighbor and to the minister and say, don't give up. God is still standing there. Tell him, keep on holding on. God is still standing there. Certainly, our knowledge is limited to discuss fully the subject that deals with the Christ of God. But we can give a few points that will point to his superior greatness. I can tell you why there's nobody like him. Nobody like him in his pre-existence. He existed before time and before place. He existed in the bosom of God behind the purple curtain of eternity. Before the foundation of the world. The life of eternity, the life of Christ did not begin in a manger, and it didn't end on a cross. He always has been and always will be. Somebody hear me say he always has been and he always will be. Christ speaks of his pre-existence in the intercessory prayer. He asked his Father in glory to glorify him with the glory he had before the world was. The Apostle John writes of his pre-existence in the first chapter of his gospel. He calls God the Word. This Word was in the beginning. The Word was God, and the Word created all things. Somebody said all things. That means I am created in the image of God, a God who is almighty and able to do all things. Christ, in speaking to the Jews, declares his pre-existence. When he tells them he was seen by their father Abraham in this day. It tells them that his presence goes further back than Abraham's past. Before Abraham was, I am. There's nobody like him in his pre-existence. Then there's nobody like him in his incarnation and birth. Are you with me? His incarnation defies finite comprehension. He was God wrapped in human flesh. In his flesh, he was both God and man. Are you following me? He was no dwarf God or midget God. But we are told by the Apostle Paul in his epistle to the Colossians that in him dwelleth all of the fullness of the Godhead. He who was ancient of days became infant of days. We must not stagger at this fact in unbelief. None of us can understand the mystery of his mother Mary, his earthly father Joseph. We're both baffled at his mystery. While we cannot understand the mystery of his birth, we still have to believe that he was born of the Virgin Mary and wrapped in swaddling clothes, and he came to be the Savior of this whole world. In his birth, heaven hung out its brightest star, and then the wise men from the east to Jerusalem. Heaven sent the angelic preaching and the angelic choir of Judea, and they spoke the news by saying, hallelujah, the king is now here. Then there's nobody like him in his person. He is the God-man, two natures in one. He protected the interests of heaven with his divinity and looked out to our souls with his humanity. In his divinity, he's God's way to man. But in his humanity, he's man's way to God. Two natures harmonized, but never blended. His divinity was never humanized, and his humanity was never defied. As man, he went to the marriage at Cana of Galilee as an invited guest. But as God, he turned the water into wine. There's nobody like Jesus. As man, I tell you, he went into the boat. But as God, he calmed the raging sea. I tell you, there's nobody like Jesus. Nobody like him in his works. His works gave witness. Are you still with me? To his divinity. He placed his works before his enemies as the strong witness. Even when John the Baptist sent his disciples to Christ to make an inquiry as to who the person is, Christ pointed to his work. He told them, go tell John that the blind see, that the lame walk, that the dumb speak, and the deaf can hear. Anybody tell me that God is able to do anything but fail? Have you tried him? Can I get a witness here? Have you tried him? He's all right. He's all right. There's nobody like him. Nobody as a sinful man, as creator of all things, he had nowhere to lay his head. He is our living water, yet he was thirsty upon the tree. He was weary, yet he is our rest. He was physically unattractive, yet he is sweeter than the honey on the honeycomb. There's nobody, somebody say nobody, nobody like him in his death and his offering. Nobody suffered like him. Nobody died like him. They tell me they marched him upon the cross. He hung his head in the lumps of his shoulder. Oh, he died. Somebody say he died. He died. But nobody like him. I said early morning, he got up with all power in his hand. And that's the reason why you may be down right now, but trouble don't last always. You may be sick in your body. There is a doctor who can heal all manner of disease. Say yeah. Say yeah. You know me, tell somebody. Say there's nobody. Nobody. I tried my mama. I done tried daddy. I tried preacher. I went to a doctor. I've gone to lawyers. I have that friend. But nobody. Somebody say there's nobody. Can't nobody love. Can't nobody hold it. Can't nobody dry my tears. Like the only Jesus. There's somebody there. There's nobody. There's nobody. There's nobody. Not my love. Not my sweetheart. Ain't nobody do me like Jesus. I'm telling you right now, if you run out of all your resources, it's not too late to try Jesus today. Try Jesus. You will find out he's all right. 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 So many times I wanted to just quit and I wanted to give up. But God said, it's not too late. Go ahead, sit back up. You can make it. Tell somebody. Yeah. You can make it. 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 God wants to say yes. You've already tried it. You know what God can do. You know what God can do. If it wasn't for God, our enemies would have been taking us out. Just day by day, we're taken to the slaughter like sheep. But God has a way of protecting us. I'm done, but there are some things that God wants you to do. And you're afraid to step out on faith so God can use you totally. God has already made the way. He's already prepared the people that you're supposed to be ministering to. He's already stopped the mouths. That's the reason why You're afraid because when we do new things, people have a way of trying to haunt you with your past. It's another way of trying to discourage you. But I tell people like Paul told the people, he said, you know what? You can say all you want to say. He said, but I serve God and mankind with a clear conscience. With a clear conscience. So there's nothing you can say about me that God doesn't already know. God has already forgiven. I don't care how bad it is. If you did it, God can forgive it. There's nobody like God. I got to the point that sometimes I didn't even want to go around people. Because, you can hear, people will whisper loud enough for you to hear them. They'll whisper loud enough for you to hear them. And your day starts off real good. Then you hear that whisper and you begin to just fall back. You was real good and ready to go out to what God had told you to do, but then after you got to stop it. And then while they sitting up there talking, you got to remember they got to pass too. And you got to learn how to ask God to forgive them for their past. Somebody said there's nobody like that. I want you to think about yourself. I'm ready to sit down. Think about yourself. Look at what God had to work with. Take a little time, right? Look what God had to work with. I may be the worst one in here. Y'all are walking testimonies. Sometimes you think folks talk about you, but they say, Lord, I thank you for Stacy. I thank you for Pat. I thank you for Meabon. So sometimes all of us have to do is just show up. I'm done, y'all, but oh my. Just start telling God, thank you. I just thank you. Thank you, Lord. The doors of the church are open. You can come back. God, thank you, God. Get it over that Tuesday. You come under Christian experience. You may not have a church home. Will there be one? The doors of this church have always been open to me. When I was a little kid, the door was open. When I became a teenager, the doors are open. I sang in the choir here. They didn't ask me if I wanted to. I just went up there. Pee-wee put me on the bus. They helped me just start singing. The doors have always been open. This has been a loving church. They took me to Memphis when we went on a show, whatever show name it was. We was over there. I saw some video and had my little long curly hair. I said, who wanted to record this? But you've always been there. I told my wife today that I was getting ready to join St. James Lutheran Baptist Church.